Hey, what's up everyone? Doug here with Retro Geek Gaming. Apologize for not making videos recently. I've had some life events going on that I'm going to tell you about. Um, been caught up with work, trying to figure out what I want to do with work and everything. Plus, I'm going back to school, something I'm very proud of. My family is very proud of. So we're going back to school soon, so that's probably going to take up some of my time as well. Um, So that's part of the reason why I have not been posting videos nearly as much. Also, I just haven't really been feeling like there's been a lot of stuff to really talk about. But I wanted to, I don't know, I've been thinking about stuff to do with the channel also, partially. That's part of the reason why this video is here right now. I've thought about things like ODD, obsessive discussion disorder. I think that would really go along well because it would be a longer video. It'd be a longer winded video discussing stuff more thoroughly than a quick 5 or 10 minute video. I've also thought about like retro recap. Something where basically I take something old, like an old game or an old accessory or something, and I talk about it, what was good about it, what I miss about it, if I want to see it come back, if it should just stay buried, stuff like that. Kind of similar to what I did, I guess with the PlayStation Eye, kind of talking about how useless it was, stuff like that. I'll probably still do that one. And of course I still have my top picks I need to get back to, and basically I'm just trying to bring more variety than just doing simple discussion videos, to sort of just give the channel more variety. Of course, you're always welcome to put your thoughts down below about what you think about that. Do you think any of those ideas would work? I don't know, just give me a shout out about what you think, Whew. And also, we're going to be talking today a little bit about digital versus physical. It's kind of something that I kind of went over with a little bit a while ago. It was probably years ago on this channel. But I wanted to talk more about it because it seems now more so than ever that digital is the inevitable future. And it's something that I'm embracing a little bit more. I'm still going to go down kicking and screaming a little bit. Because I do like physical. I will be honest, I like physical games. There's something about actually physically holding a game in your hand and knowing that I actually own it. And especially in the case of like CDs and DVDs and stuff as a perfect example, sometimes Netflix does not have a certain movie available. They only have it for a month or so. After a while they take it off. It's no longer able to be found. And sometimes having that physically is just a great idea, just to have. And sometimes Hulu doesn't have it, so it's a good idea to have physical copies of it. And that's the only reason why I'm still going to be partially a physical gamer, but I have to look at stuff like Earthbound, for an example. And for the cost of Earthbound, I could basically have bought the digital versions of Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings, Mother 1 and 2, whatever you want to call them. I could have bought them probably 10 times over. Probably not really, but I still could have bought them at least 5 or 6 times. Because it's a lot for just a physical version of Earthbound. And I know that it's not everybody. Some games are just classics, like the Metroid Prime trilogy. Just an instant classic that everybody buys. You can't really get your hands on it too much, so having a physical copy of that is great. But at the same time, if you look at it, you just think, well, it is kind of cheaper to own these games. Sometimes it's cheaper to own them digitally. But the reason why this discussion exists is because of things like the Xbox Game Pass, PlayStation Now. It's getting to the point to where you don't even have to have their system. You can just have, like in the case of PlayStation Now, I don't know about Xbox Game Pass. I don't know if you can get that through your computer. But with PlayStation Now, you can download it through your computer and get access to old games. And I thought, what if that's what the next generation is? Like the PlayStation 5, if it does come out in, let's say, 2020, if it's just a digital box that just basically plays upgraded versions of games and gives you a backlog of PS4, PS3, PS2, and PS1 games with PSP and PS Vita also. That's a lot of PS. But I don't know. In a way, it would be kind of nice. It's part of the reasons why I love my 3DS, because the 3DS gives me, the 3DS games. It gives me DS games. It gives me DSi games. It gives me virtual console content. Sometimes if I enjoy that. Although I still kind of not really into virtual console that much. But I mean, it makes a ton of sense. There's a lot more money to be had in that. Look at stuff like the NES Classic and the SNES Classic as examples of something that you could basically have put the SNES Classic games onto the Switch and you would have been making a buttload of money right now. And if you just told people, look, the NES Classic, all of our old stuff, the, Super Nintendo, the 64, maybe GameCube, it's really up to you. Old school Game Boy Color games, and all that stuff. All at your fingertips to download or stream instantly for $20 a month. Okay. Cool. I wouldn't have signed up for it, but I know that there are people out there, they'd sign up for it in a heartbeat. So, it just makes a ton of sense. There's a lot more money to be had of that, because if you think about it, you make a lot more money, because maybe it'll cost you, maybe $10, let's say, at most, to get this game remade digitally with some online features, throw it in there, and charge $15-20 for it. You'll basically make your money back and some profit. Easy, And so I get it to an extent. I know that digital is the way of the future. After all, look at CDs. CDs, even though they're still around, have really just kind of you can't really get them anymore. They're not as widespread and available as what they once were. Even DVDs now are pretty much in the $5 bargain bin of a Walmart, because they're just not as readily available. And that's sort of the route with games. There was a point where I remember certain game stores would have everything, And now we're at a point now to where it's just yeah, we'll keep stuff for a year and then we'll get rid of it to keep up with the current games that are coming out. And if you look at companies like GameStop, they're losing money year after year on their physical sales. So it makes a ton of sense that eventually brick and mortar stores will eventually be obsolete. You'll be able to buy everything digitally. We'll go online and order it. And it makes a ton more sense, I guess. And in a way, it's kind of convenient, no more having to do what I have to do now with my PlayStation 4, set up different accounts for my kids and an account for me, and block all of it. Maybe you can have it now to it's all done through the account, I don't know, let's say if my son logs in, he's automatically, got his age limit set, his parental controls are set, but when I log in, it automatically recognizes me and changes the settings to fit me. Stuff like that would make things a heck of a lot easier. And also, because they would be digital, as long as I can re-download them, because as we've seen in the case of some stuff, like with the Wii, transferring over to the Wii U and the DS side to 3DS, sometimes this stuff does not exactly transition over easily. I know that that's in the past. It's probably a heck of a lot easier now. But all I'm saying is that it's not quite there yet, because there are still some countries that are not 100% up to par with yeah, we have 100 megabits per second. Yeah, we have 300 megabits per second. There's still some parts of the world that you only can get dial-up, pretty much. There's still some parts of the country where the amount of usage that you have is very low and very limited. So it's something that I don't think we're 100% there yet, but we're getting there because we have Netflix. And even though you're able to do stuff in higher definition in 4K, they still have standard definition programming. That's probably the way it's going to be of games. We're probably going to have the high definition 4K games with all the patches that you can download to make the lighting effects better, and then you'll probably just have the standard definition that you can download or stream for just like a common TV and for low internet options. I really do think that we're going to go down that route. Again, it's something I'm going to kind of miss because back in the days when I had a game room, it was something that I loved, having the shelves up, people being able to see all the old systems that I had, you know, seeing all the classic games that I had. And as one person who basically came into my room one time, I was showing it off for, you know, some friends, and they had a friend with them. And as he basically said one time, my childhood is in this room. You know, stuff like that kind of gets me a little bit in the heart when it's like, yeah, all these memories are right here, physically in front of you. You can hold them, you can see them. Versus, there's a system right there, and, you know, it's all there. So if I lose the system, I at least still have the games. Whereas if I lose my phone, everything that's on my phone is gone. Even if I can re-download it. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm kind of in this weird... we're in this weird crossroads area right now where I'm sort of kind of accepting it, but I'm still kind of like transitioning because I'm just old school like that, I know. But it's something that I'm sure that when I finally get good internet and I get a capable television and capable internet, then I'm going to love streaming games. I'm going to probably enjoy it, probably do it all the time and wonder why I even went physical at all. But that's just my 2 cents, guys. Thanks for watching, as always. I think I've taken enough of your time ranting on about this. I appreciate you watching, as always. You're welcome to put your comments about anything that I've talked about today in the comments down below. Feel free to like this video if you liked what I talked about. And feel free to subscribe if you want. With the exception of lately, because I've just been finding myself busy, I do try to make at least weekly videos. It just really depends upon what I have to talk about. And that's probably the reason why I'm going to do the different categories, like what I was talking about, the different stuff, where it's like, here's a discussion video, here's a topics video, here's a, you know, here's just something randomly, or like this, where it's just a random rant. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Right now, the channel is kind of up in the air right now, too. But, pleasure speaking with y'all. Thanks for watching, as always. Have a good one. And I'll see you next time.